Namaskar, welcome to the Daily English News program in Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm qocaman. The meeting of Interdepartmental Center under the coordination headquarters established by the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan in order to resolve issues on the liberated territories in a centralized manner with the participation of the heads of the relevant working groups took place. During the meeting, it was stressed that restoration and reconstruction works are under the constant attention of President İlham Aliyev. It was noted that the works carried out are in line with the strategic development priorities of the state, taking into establishment of necessary conditions for the citizens who will return to their ancestral lands. Detailed information was provided by the authorized representatives of relevant state agencies responsible for military, political, legal, social, economic, mine clearance, urban planning, energy, humanitarian, international cooperation, and other issues. This year will also be remarkable for Azerbaijan since it enters into the post-conflict recovery and rehabilitation phase following the liberation of its territories from almost 30 years of lasting occupation. Azerbaijani Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov said during his speech at the high-level segment of the 46th session of the UN Human Rights Council. Minister added that Azerbaijan is determined to take all measures stemming from its rights and the relevant bilateral and multilateral mechanisms to bring the perpetrators of these crimes to justice. It was also underscored that the government has already initiated practical steps in order to enable the safe and dignified return of the displaced population and ensure peaceful coexistence within the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. Chairperson of Azerbaijani Parliament, Sahibə Qafarova, met with the members of the delegation of the French National Assembly who are on a visit to Azerbaijan. The speaker spoke about the importance of sustainable development of interparliamentary relations. It was stressed that mutual visits and meetings of deputies are important in terms of discussing issues of mutual interest. Sahibə Qafarova also recalled the prejudice of biased views on the just struggle of Azerbaijan under the influence of the Armenian diaspora in the French parliament during the Patriotic War. Majid El-Garab, a member of the French National Assembly, said they understood the concerns of the Azerbaijani side. The future development directions of interparliamentary relations were implemented in the fight against coronavirus and other interesting issues the parties have also discussed in the talks. Ministry of Defense released video footages from Çaytımaz village of Qapalı region. Çaytımaz village is part of Həmzəli village administrative unit of Qapalı region. This residential settlement is located on the bank of Hakkari River. Its former name was Tumaslı. The village was created as a result of families moving from Dağtumaz village of current Cəbrayıl region and settling on the bank of Hakkari River. The village, which was occupied in 1993 by Armenia, was liberated by the Azerbaijani armed forces. In line with the instructions of the head of state, the new road to Kəlbəcər region will be constructed. The construction works will start from next month. Chair of Azərbaycan Avtomobil Yolları State Agency, Rəsmi Məmmədov, talked about this in the briefing dedicated to the implemented works in 2020 and coming tasks.
The construction works continue in the territories liberated from the occupation. One of the first steps taken for the operation of necessary fields is the construction of roads. The highways, with the overall length of 2,661 kilometers and 90 bridges in these territories, are on the balance of Azerbaycan Highway State Agency. Starting from next month, the construction of the road to Kəlbəcər region will kick off. We have been doing design works on the construction of this highway for about 2 months. We will be working on this together with the Turkish specialists. Already the plan has been submitted to the head of state. Most likely we will kick off construction from March. Also, over the past year, 20 new bridges were constructed and 3 bridges were repaired. 2 tunnels and 1 new metal railway crossover, as well as 9 pedestrian passages were commissioned on the commonly used highways and in Baku. In line with the instruction of the head of state, based on the program for 2013-2018 and 2018-2023 on the establishment of social and economic infrastructure in the regions, among the works carried out were the construction of 6,000 kilometers of roads, a bridge and other works. Over the course of 2020, The city and suburban roads with the total length of 342.1 kilometers were reconstructed. The incompleted and overhaul works will be finalized until the end of the year.
Visiting delegation of the National Assembly of France visited the grave of the nationwide leader Heydər at the Hall of Honor. Then the delegation visited the Hall of Martyrs, where they paid tribute to the heroic sons and daughters of Azerbaijan who had sacrificed their lives for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. The Ombudsman issued a statement on the 29th anniversary of the Khojaly genocide. The statement says that the terrible crime against humanity in Khojaly was organized by the then political leadership of Armenia. On this day, 29 years ago, the town of Khojaly was besieged and attacked by heavy artillery, with its civilian residents brutally murdered. People were not allowed to escape from the burning town. Civilians were ambushed on the roads and in the woods and mercilessly slaughtered. This crime amounts to the most serious and severe violation of norms and principles of international law as well as fundamental human rights. Unfortunately, despite the fact that 29 years have passed since this tragedy, the act of genocide in Khojaly has not yet received its due political and legal assessment on the part of the international community, and its perpetrators are still not brought to justice. Lack of adequate reaction by the world community to the Khojaly genocide is not only immoral but also unacceptable, because it's also ground for the repetition of these sort of crimes in the future. The work on the development of the concept of the Patriotic War Memorial Complex and the Victory Museum continues. To implement the project at a high level, the Ministry turned to both local and foreign experts. In this regard, the staff of a world-renowned leading multimedia company, G Group, cooperating with Azerbaijan, has visited Baku. Within the framework of the visit, a meeting between the Minister of Culture, Anar Kerimov, and the delegation of the working group has been held. During the meeting, the significance of the memorial complex of the Patriotic War and the Museum of Victory as a place that conveys to the audience the glorious victory achieved as a result of the determination of the state and our people, the course of the Patriotic War with modern presentation methods was emphasized. The meeting also discussed the work to be done under the project, initial ideas and plans. 72 infections with the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 75 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 4 people have died after testing positive for COVID-19. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 233,201, with 227,836 recoveries and 3,202 deaths. The number of active infections is 2,163. To detect infection cases, overall 2,555,058 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.